All right, so this is, I know I've said this, I've said this is the greatest video ever. This is the greatest video ever. I fixed my Pro Tools rig. It was, at the end of the day, it was a cable. I canceled the whole redo. Oh man, like yesterday, I had it all set up, I ordered everything, and like I said in the video before, and then I just was like, I kept thinking about some of the little windows that popped up, the little warning windows. I don't know what you call them, but one of them said, "No, check cables." Check cables, like, everything's, So I did, and it's the main port cable that goes from the HDIO into the chassis for the HDX card, and it's like I don't know, 8 or 10 pin, and it screws in. But when I pull, because it's pulling all this out is a pain in the butt because it's in the Argosy. Oh, if I could go back in time, I probably would do it differently. But here's where we are. I pull it out, and I see that the whole thing is like kind of cockeyed, like somehow something was being pulled at one point and moved the cable maybe over, and I was like, oh, so I got it all out, straightened it out, blew on it, and then put it in there real good and like really tightened it in and really like, did the thing and push it in, and there you go. And it's been perfect. So, I talked to my wife, like, yes, I fixed it, and I didn't want to, like, it wasn't like an immediate thing. Like, I have turned this rig on and off like 15 times since yesterday, just to double check it, restart, then complete shutdown, then shut the power off, repower, like every configuration over and over and over again, because I have made the mistake of thinking, oh yeah, it's good, and then like sometimes people will work on your rig remotely, like Sweetwater, and then when you go and turn it off and turn it back on, it doesn't work. So I'm always like, hey guys, stay on the phone with me, let me shut everything off, restart it, make sure that it's good. So it's fixed. So my wife was like, I don't know, she was just like, my wife's a funny person. Like, my wife is she's a pretty courageous human being. Well, I mean, she hangs out with, me, so she can deal with my crazy. But she's like, every time I'd say, yeah, I said, it's going to be a good thing. I mean, either way, at some point we're going to need this. But, obviously, going into like a $13,000 upgrade, on like a day's notice, it's a little intense. I mean, I could pull it off, but this would be something like, oh, let's do it next year, and kind of like put some money aside. There was none of that. It was just like boom. And but I said, and then she's like, well, you should just cancel it then. You can cancel, you can return the stuff, just tell the guy. And I'm like, yeah, but he's already like talked to me for like 2 hours. I don't know, but I was like bumming on it because I was like, I had every imaginable piece of peripheral gear for sale to try to, because you guys know, they know, I went through a lot to get rid of all these credit cards. I don't want to get myself, I mean, 5-10 grand in credit cards that's doable. Where I was totally insane, but I'm like at basically nothing. So, and then today I got up and I went in there and I fired it up and worked perfect. And then I shut it off, turned it on, it worked perfect. I taught this morning, it was working great. Then I came in and my wife was like, I was like, like I said, I think it's a good idea, but it is working. And she's like, something, and then she says, listen, don't keep bringing it up, because I'm gonna just keep telling you to cancel it. And I'm like, well. And then I went in the studio and I turned it all off, I turned it all on, worked, I got it up and running, it was fine. And then I said, hey, I texted her, come on in here. So she came in. So I said, hey, watch, I shut the whole thing down. I'm talking to her about like, manually, installing drivers for HDX. I mean, this is not her. She's like looking at me like, the 30-mile stare, whatever they 30 yards, 100-yard stare, just like, okay, what the hell is he talking about? And I said, so, and she just was like so straight with me. She's like, you should just cancel it. Don't put yourself through all of this. You're not into it. And, it's not going to benefit you, really. It isn't. I mean, I make music. I'm not, if the computer's like 1 millisecond slower, or I couldn't care less, personally, and if the Matrix, it's like, I'm already there. So she left. I sent Sweetwater a message. I said, listen, man, I'm going to have to return this. I'm going to pass on this. I got onto my Apple account. I was able to cancel it, right? It hadn't, they probably hadn't even started building it yet. So they're like, yeah, no worries. It's canceled. Or, it's like, it's canceled. You'll never even be charged for it. And I went in and I talked to my wife. I'm like, I did it. She's like, you feel better? I said, man, do I feel better? I was not into this concept at all. Not even remotely. So what I may do at some point is have this tech guy who's awesome come in and like blow out my computer, restore it to factory, and do a complete fresh install. That's like, that takes like, a day, and maybe that would be something to do at some point, but I'm not going anywhere. Somebody had posted up on one of my videos about this, that they're like, yeah, I'm on an old iMac and on Catalina, and I love it, and it's great. And I was like, when I was reading it, I'm like, damn, man, like, yeah, that's it. So now I'm stuck in traffic because I just had to go to I just did the whole return for everything that I got from Amazon, so I had to go to Whole Foods to do the return. Whole Foods I went on the wrong road here. Whole Foods in downtown Nashville is like going to the proctologist and he's using barbed wire. First of all, Whole Foods, I can't stand Whole Foods. I used to like Whole Foods. The smell in there is just, I hate the smell of Whole Foods. I don't know what kind of doily, dippity-doo, Massengill, Chipotle, Chucho, whatever they got going on there, the smell is gross to me. But anyway, so I did the return. Now I'm stuck in traffic. Anyway, I do feel better, and I don't hate. I actually used to really love, like, it was a big fun thing to go in the afternoon and have lunch at Whole Foods in Hollywood. I like Whole Foods, and my wife manages Trader Joe's, so we're into like, trying to somewhat healthy grocery. But yeah. So there it is. I'm crossing over the Cumberland River. So it's so great. And the other thing, I just got a Lakeland Skyline 5502 5-string wood grain blonde with a maple fretboard. Wow, dude. So, and here's another thing. So I have a Sansamp RBI, the rack. But then for the band, I bought that Sansamp bass driver DI, which I really was digging with the P bass. So I was like, when I was going to sell everything to try to pay for this hootenanny, I put the RBI up for sale, $200. And my friend, who's like bass player extraordinaire, like virtuoso, he's like, dude, you shouldn't sell it. Those are great. Like, yeah, but that sound is, I like the bass driver. He's like, okay, it's cool. They're all great, but he's like, yeah. Anyway, he's like, yeah, I made a ton of records with the RBI. So I get this Lakeland 5-string. I plug it into this the Sansamp bass driver, and it sounds great. But it sounds like it's very kind of, there's a little bit of like like not congestion, but it just felt like there was something about the bass driver. It was like it was just too much with maybe the active pickups, the B string. It felt like a little overwhelming, and it felt dirty, a little dirty, no matter what I did. Even if I backed off the gain and I blended in the DI, it's still, there was something. And I thought, wow, I wonder if the RBI would sound. So I pull the RBI out and I start playing. I'm like, oh my God, the RBI is better with this, Lakeland type of 5-string active passive than the bass driver DI. Not better, different, but it makes more sense to me. Like there's more. It breathes more. It's more space in between the notes. It's a little more relaxed. Even when I turned the gain up, it just felt like it was handling maybe the saturation of the guitar itself. So I racked it up. It's so beautiful. I'll go through all this. And one of the things that I purchased that I bought 2 of those rack shelves. I've always kind of thought they were cool. I've never had one, so I bought 2 of them. So when I was getting ready to do this return, I thought, well, let me do this. Let me return one, keep one, and then on that one, I'll put the bass driver, the SansAmp bass driver, and I'll put my little Presonus headphone amp. So I'm putting that little rack shelf was. It was just so tricky with to get the nut. But anyway, finally I get it all. I put it in there. Boom, it's beautiful. So now, and I plugged them both in, and I'm going direct out of the SansAmp. So it's one line to the SansAmp bass driver, and then it goes out XLR to the converter, and then or to the patch bay, wherever I put it, and then. The RBI is going in the RBI is going in 47, the bass driver is going in 48, and I'm coming out of the output, which is a clean out. It's just a direct, like a through out of the bass driver right into the RBI. So I've got them all right there. It looks like when I finally got done with everything, and I got the Lakeland in, and I tuned it up and was playing. It just was, I was so happy. I was so happy. And I thought, now that I don't have to buy this, maybe I'll buy a Cerbella. the mental illness. Why do I want a Cerbella? I don't know why I want a Cerbella. I just want like a cool Fender thing. I got enough EL34, EL84, Marshall, Vox. I got enough to the end of time and then some. I've got enough. I get it. So anyway, Bo's here. He's panting. You want to say hello, Bo? Are you drooling all over the door handle, you putz? You see him? Hey, Bo, you're on the video. Say hello. Say hi, everybody. I know. Are you happy that I didn't? Because you know what happens now? I got more money for dog bones.